I'm back with another Kingdom Classic. Today, I was thinking about what Brother Mike sent me a text, and I hadn't thought about that, but talk about Judas and how Judas betrayed Jesus because Judas obviously was attracted to material gain and wealth and power. And that's what today's Christian is attracted to. He's attracted to wealth. And, people of weak character are attracted to wealth. And so Judas wanted that political, geopolitical, military kingdom that many of his countrymen, the Pharisees, Sadducees, their followers, Sanhedrin, were wanting, right? This is one of the chief reasons they killed Christ, because they wanted that political king. They had it in Herod, so a lot of them were already satisfied. Most of them were already satisfied with Herod. But Judas seemed to support Jesus, but wanted Jesus to take that political throne, that earthly Zion throne. Because Judas was attracted to the material gain that power within a kingdom usually provides. He didn't want the spiritual kingdom that Jesus was bringing. He didn't want that spiritual kingdom that's represented by the cross of Christ, the denial of self and suffering, going through trials and afflictions. Amen. He didn't want that. So today, many Christians, in their desire to usher in this Jewish kingdom, this 1,000-year Jewish kingdom, they're betraying Jesus, right? Because they're attracted. What are these Christians attracted to in America? These Zionist Christians, they're attracted to wealth and power. They want the modern day Jews to have power over that region. They want they want America to go to war on behalf of quote unquote Israel, right? They're denying the now reigning Davidic kingship of Christ in the New Jerusalem in heaven. It's not good enough for them, so they want an earthly throne of David because they want that worldly political power for 1,000 years. So they have subverted the true gospel and replaced it with a Israel-centric gospel. When I say Israel, I'm talking about modern day Israel. And this is what's happening right now within Christianity, and it's been going on. The Christianity today is really at that end. This is the end of that cycle that started in the 1800s, and probably in some ways before that. You could even trace the beginning of the Protestant Reformation to that. But it really took off in the 1800s with all these Adventist type cults. When I say Adventist type cults, I'm talking about the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Campbellites, the Pentecostals, the dispensationalist rapture crowd, where it was no longer about advancing the kingdom of Christ on earth now in the form of the New Testament church. Well, it became about, we want a geopolitical kingdom, and we want it centered in modern day Jerusalem. And therefore, in order to achieve that, the Christians in America and in the West overall feel like they have to gain power and obtain power, right? So they're betraying the true biblical Christ, the Davidic king, for an earthly kingdom. And so Brother Mike, who sent me that text, it's so true. And this is what modern day Christianity has become: Judas goats. They have betrayed Christ. The real biblical Christ is a now reigning Davidic king in the New Jerusalem. His kingdom is now fully here. They betrayed him. They say, no, his kingdom isn't here yet because it's not a kingdom of power. It's not a kingdom where we're literally ruling over people in a political situation. It's not a kingdom that has wealth, right? They don't want the kingdom that's represented by the cross. It's of suffering, trial, and affliction. They want a kingdom that has wealth. Therefore, what do Christians support? What is it? They support the Republican Party. They support the neocons, the neoconservatives, whose chief goal is to form a Anglo-Judeo world order, which is now starting to crumble, which is dominating the West, but it's starting to crumble. When I say Anglo, I'm talking about Anglo-Saxon, whether it's Britain or America. And so therefore now they've sold their soul, right? They've sold the true kingdom of Christ, which is present tense. It's represented by the cross. They've denied the cross of Christ. The cross of Christ isn't just what he did for us. It's what we do for him, meaning we deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and suffer as Christ suffered. But because the Judas goat spirit has entered into Christianity in the West, and it's really big in the denominational churches of America and in pastors, they have sold out Christ for the shekels. For the 30 pieces of silver, they have sold Christ. They say, we don't want your kingship. We don't want your kingdom, which is sealed by suffering, trial, and affliction. We want a utopian kingdom. They have traded in the true kingdom of Christ, which is represented by the cross. He holds his kingdom by the cross. It's a kingdom of eternal struggle, and they want the utopian Jewish kingdom. And so they become Judas goats. They want their Jewish utopia. So therefore, Christians support the Republican Party. They're neocons, they're neoconservatives. They support the neoconservative movement, which is all about eradicating Israel's enemies in the Middle East. Even if it means sacrificing our own American women, men and even women, girls and boys. And so, to be wealthy as a Christian, to see Christian churches wealthy and pastors wealthy now is no big deal. Why? Because they have given up true Christianity, the true Christ of that Christianity, and have embraced a false Jewish messianic Christianity, where the gospel isn't about Jesus bringing a spiritual kingdom of an inward righteousness. It's about him bringing Jewish culture. And therefore, we have to have a utopian world. A Zionist utopia, or Bolshevik utopia, the communist ideal, utopianism. Why? Because they're attracted to wealth, and people of weak character are attracted to wealth. They don't want the cross. They don't want daily cross, denial of self, narrow roads, suffering, trial, affliction, which are all seals that show you're in the fully realized kingdom of Christ now on the earth. So like Judas, they have sold Christ for the 30 pieces of silver for wealth and power via the neoconservative movement, via the Republican Party, to form a Judeo-Anglo world order. Israel, Britain, and America. And the chief goal of the neoconservative Republican movement is to eradicate Israel's enemies, to bring anti-Semitic hate speech laws in a place like they've done in Florida. Because they want to prevent any criticism of modern day Israel for being the whore that she is. And she is a whore. She's a skank. And so they have, the Christian churches are Judas goats. The Christian pastors are Judases. They have sold out the now reigning Davidic King Jesus Christ, the true Jesus, for a false Jesus, a false Jewish Jesus, a kosher Jesus that is not king yet, but will be king someday in some Jewish communist utopia for 1,000 years, where conveniently Jews get to rule over the Gentiles. How you can enslave yourself with such willingness and glee to another people is beyond me. It doesn't compute. I'm not built like that. I'm not built to enslave myself to another people and cuck at them because they're supposedly God's chosen people. Anyway, salute from the kingdom of the Son of God in Jesus Christ. Going to do some burpees, 110 burpees, baby. Psalm 110:1. Jesus is our now reigning Davidic King on the right hand of Jehovah God, on the throne of David, and the new Jerusalem, earthly Jerusalem, is done forever. Amen. Salute and hail Christ, hail victory.